Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Skald against the Black Priory. As today, we are officially off market. Obviously, we've made our way back out off screen. And I will note that I did briefly swing by the docks as well, and it does look like Red Kala is blocking access to not just the ledger that the Rat Queen requested, but also likely our oil, since we never did find that. But since we're not looking to kill her unprovoked, relatively speaking, we have instead made our way to the last area we've yet to explore. Armed, of course, with our bevy of new skill-boosting items, which does push several of our key skills into auto-success territory. Most notably crafting, though sadly not certain other skills such as awareness, healing, survival, I think? Survival's not too bad. And then, of course, we also still have these 2 level ups in the queue. So, let's go ahead and get those taken care of, and then we can get this show back on the road. Freya fills out Sorceress Master, grabs that last point of crafting and spell aptitude. And Roland grabs that second rank of Blade Finesse, a small but welcome crit bonus. And then we'll bank that 1 leftover point into heavy armor, because why not? Might as well keep our options open, and I think it has become evident at this point. He is the one member of our party who's going to end up with more feat points than he really knows what to do with. Beyond this, it's really just special abilities, and, you know, given the universal cooldown, there's really only so much we can do with those. That said, with essentially all of our leads exhausted, short of picking a fight with Red Kala, I guess that really does just leave the Temple District. We're already poised just beneath it, so let's go meet our butcher. And I suppose decide what we're going to do with these tablets. I am still loath to hand them over, but at the same time, I would kind of like to see what happens if we do. Up we go. Ooh, spellbooks, okay. We already have Moderate Lay on Hands, but I think we can use one of these others. Yes, Fleet of Foot. Not exactly the most exciting spell, but we'll take it. And then I suppose these other 2 are just sales fodder. What's that one? Mind Magic? We might put some points in that. We're really kind of focusing on Drina's more martial aspects right now, though. We're up against the western wall. That gives us a rough idea of our relative positioning. Pretty fancy front yard. I guess the Temple District doubles as like a noble district. Delightful. And we've got Reavers, as well as a number of unfortunates they have crossed. A beast of a man, bald and covered in crude sailor's tattoos, stands wide-legged on the stairs of the desecrated temple. You come to the butcher willingly, like some lamb crawling into the mouth of a wolf? Perhaps there is something about you. Tell me, why are you here? Well, as I was just telling your sister, Oleg sent me. He wants to stop the infighting and believes that as the tablet bearer, you should all fall in line behind him. The man's laughter booms throughout the plaza. Is that what he said? That decrepit old fool is owed nothing except my axe through his head. Father favors me and me alone, and that piss-stinking old man shall be my offering to him. But I'll give him this. The Whispering Tablets do indeed hold the word from the deep. The brethren will flock to whomever possesses them, and Father's favor will follow. The butcher's eyes narrow predatorily. You may have a role to play in this yet. I see it in your face, around your eyes. Seek out the Whispering Tablets. Oleg hoards them well, but I know where. There are tunnels under his lodge. Deep tunnels. A canny cutter like you would do well in looking for the hidden entrance. That is, if you don't mind wading through more shit.
Well, if I'm not used to it by now, I never will be. So that's it? Just go in there and grab it? I don't suppose you have any other insights or tips, perhaps?
No. You'll find a way. I smell it on you. Go now. Find the tablets and bring them to me. Quick and quiet. There will be plenty of bloodshed, but I will be the one spilling the blood once the tablets are safe in my hands. Now, be gone.
Right. Man, Drax really went downhill after Quill stopped leading the Guardians. Poor guy. But, you know, the guy was in prison for serial stabbing the first time we were introduced to him, so I guess it really shouldn't come as much of a shock. Ah, yes, there's our new super alertness. Spotting things so far away they're practically off screen. And no access to that raised area we saw in the southwest corner, where we saw those reavers looking down on the docks. I assumed that was part of the Temple District, but apparently not. And there's our inn. The door ahead is barricaded from the inside with furniture and heavy crates. You put your shoulder to it and quickly clear it. The door can now be used normally. That's our shortcut back to the starting district. But in theory, we should also have some sort of clue about Embla here. Though I'm not seeing anything lootable, and we can't go upstairs, so I'm not really sure what to make of that. I guess maybe we have to wait until after we've dealt with the Reavers. Yeah, nothing specifically about the inn. Perhaps we'll find something at the governor's house. Oh, wow. Okay, so I guess that's it for the Temple District. Huh. Pretty much just these two buildings, the one we came in through and the temple itself. No access to the south area we glimpsed from the docks. Alright, let's go check in with Oleg real quick. See if he's got anything new for us. Technically, we have completed his task, even if his siblings were defiant. What do you want? I mean, I did what you wanted. Can I... but apparently I cannot tell you about that. Interesting. Okay, yeah, I guess that really does just leave the options of either... Well, I suppose I could provoke him, but that feels like a Not necessarily a bad idea. I mean, we could kill these guys individually. I just don't see much benefit in it, aside from perhaps a little extra loot. And holding onto the tablets. Though I suppose in theory we could pull them off the butcher's body after. Alright, yeah, I guess we're going to do this. I really thought it would be more involved in the Temple District, but apparently it is just as simple as deciding whether or not you want to hand over the tablets. Which, despite my reservations, I have now basically talked myself into doing. So... Butcher?
Yes? Talk.
Got those tablets you wanted?
Give them to me.
His meaty hands tremble with excitement as he greedily takes the tablets from you. Mesmerized, he traces the grotesque carvings with fat, blood-smeared fingers.
Yes, I hear you. Your will shall be done.
The assembled Reavers gather around and begin a low, droning chant. Great, so what happens now? He looks up at you with black eyes.
My ascent to Father's side begins. Soon I'll join him in the keep. All that is left is the sacrifice of the firstborn. Go to Kala, tell her she will be at my side, and together we will make an offering of Oleg and his pathetic little band. Tell her this is a knife night, a red night. Now go. We must make ready.
Okie dokie. Guess it's a good thing we left Kala alive then. Let's go see what she has to say. You! What do you want? Out with it! Well, just thought you'd like to know that the butcher has Oleg's tablets. He says he's ready to make his move. Her eyes narrow. Yes, I sense it. There is blood in the water, and soon there will be blood in the streets. Finally, we will be done with this petty bickering, and Father will let us join him in the keep. Yep, that's definitely how this is going to end. So yeah, the butcher has invited you to join him. Kala erupts into cruel laughter. Oh, I'll join him, and we'll make a bloody mess of Oleg. And when the butcher feasts on the old fool's liver, he'll be so certain he's won Father's favor that he might not even feel my blade between his ribs. There will be only one of us left standing tonight. Oh, goodness, and we are right into it. Okay. Doesn't look like it's going great for Oleg there. Kala and her brood of Reavers stalk their way into the main plaza of the city, where they are met by the butcher and his lot. You follow from a distance and see the two Reavers exchange words. Then Kala slips into the mist and darkness, and the butcher forms his men up in a crude line. Soon, Oleg and his band approach from the east, stalking cautiously into the plaza towards the butcher's line. The two men exchange a few crude words before an arrow flies and carnage erupts. Savage blades make bloody work, intestines spill, blood pours and limbs are torn from bodies. Screams of pain and terror mix with the howls and snarls of men utterly lost to insane bloodlust. The butcher finds Oleg on the field, and with a mighty swing, the old man is slain. As the fiend tears his brother's heart from his chest, he howls in triumph. Then, from out of the shadows, Kala and her brood fall upon the remainder of Oleg's men from the rear. The slaughter is complete and total, and not a soul from Oleg's band is left standing. As the screams die down and all the savagery is sated, the ground is slick with blood and gore. Kala stalks the battlefield like a savage animal, making short work of the wounded, while the butcher stands panting in the center of the plaza. In the darkness,
their eyes fix upon you, burning like white-hot coals. Kala raises her bloody sword towards you and lets out an inhuman scream. It seems they have one more sacrifice yet to make. You know what? That's fair. I was getting ready to kill them anyway, so I cannot begrudge them making the first move. Also, half our party went up a level. Nice. I do always worry when we do the non-combat solutions that it'll end up shorting us on loot and XP. Hopefully we can still get whatever Oleg was carrying. Baron up first. We've got Kala on left, Butcher on right. And a shockingly small number of Reavers left standing. Which, you know, I guess was kind of the whole point of this thing. Just doesn't really make for much of a fight. Though I suppose I should hold my tongue until we actually see just how strong these two are. Baron moves in, locks down Kala. Gets hamstrung in response. That's fine. Ooh, that though. My goodness, yeah. Okay, so Butcher's our real threat here. I guess that does make sense. That should slow him down a bit. Clear Dreena's flank. Wow, okay. Yeah, these guys are slightly tankier than expected. Though, I think we're fine. I'm not too worried here. Just got to keep an eye on Dreena, make sure she doesn't dip into the red. Oh, yeah, we're fine. As with many a foe, the Butcher is mighty, but not immune to stun. One down. Kala's about to drop. Let's save her for a top off. Red Kala, now dead Kala. Let's burn some spells. We've got to level up in the queue so we don't have to worry about attunement. Oh, so that's why they're so durable. They don't have Second Wind, they have Not Today, which is a reactive ability that we can also get. Or at least our warriors can. It automatically triggers the first time you run out of vitality, instantly restoring a fair chunk of it. Though, as we can see with these guys, it doesn't actually prevent you from being panicked or injured by the loss of health which triggered it. Probably a safe bet to assume the Butcher has it as well. But we'll find out momentarily.
Yeah, we've got this. I will say, though, Butcher, definitely a pretty tough customer. Or, you know, was. Let's wrap this up. And we're good. Oh, come on. Just masterwork. And not even a proper war axe either. Alright, fair enough. Oddly, that leather is probably the most useful thing we just picked up. We do still need some basic armor for poor Iben. What about Oleg? Can we still, Oh yeah, he's right there. Oh, wow, really? Chapter 3, okay. You stand dazed, surveying the carnage around you. The 3 Reaver chieftains lie dead. Now the one they call Father awaits you inside the still occupied keep. The sound of footsteps interrupt your thoughts, and you whirl around ready for another melee. To your surprise, you see the surviving soldiers of the Haran Guard, bolstered by armed refugees. Moving methodically from house to house, they begin the task of retaking the ravaged town. Cries of jubilation mix with the anguished cries of people finding the corpses of former loved ones. Nonetheless, it does not take long for life to creep back into the desolate streets. One of the soldiers approaches you. Farron, I bring word from the Chamberlain. He's requested you find him at the tavern over by the temple. He asks you make haste. The young man offers a short bow and continues on his way. Sure, yeah, we'll get right on that. Once we take care of a few things. Huh. Still a bit disappointing it's non-magic gear, but we do actually have a use for that. Masterwork Mace, of course, goes to Drina. That's a modest but much-needed upgrade. The basic leather goes to Iben. But then we also have this Masterwork Scale, so let's see where we might be able to fit that in. Bump up Trina's dodge. Toss the leather to Iben. The basic breastplate's just vendor trash. Might have a use for that shield. Nope. Which just leaves the level ups. And we've got level ups across the board, my goodness. All right. Let's hit the pause button real quick. I'll figure out what we're doing with these, and then we'll go catch up with Marcus. Be right back. And we're back. Okay, let's do this. First up, we've got Farron, and sadly we do not have access to that final leadership tree just yet. So instead, we'll just go ahead and bulk up our heavy armor mastery. That's a net gain of +1 on dodge. And then we will sink our 1 remaining point into axe mastery. Get ourselves one step closer to that end cap decap. After that, we've got Freya, and we are finally going to go ahead and start bumping up her magic. We'll top out Air Expert, gaining access to Tier 2 air spells. And we'll sink a couple into Air Master. We'll top that one out next level. I will say, though, one of the reasons, the main reason, really, that I kind of dragged my feet on this was, A, the spells we already have are working fine, and B, the Tier 2 air spells really just aren't that good. Like, Blinding Bolt sounds like it should be good, but in reality, it's an expensive single-target spell that inflicts -1 agility. Whereas Mark of Haste just grants +4 movement and Purge Invisibility. You know, we haven't run into any invisible foes, but I suppose that's a good one to have on tap. Just in case. For Cat, we're finally grabbing Crippling Finesse. That's the one that adds an injury chaser to all of her backstabs. Pretty much a no-brainer. Trina grabs Shake the Earth. That's her area stun. We'll start filling out the rest of her martial tree next. I mean, I guess we could go magic. It just doesn't really feel necessary. Roland banks an ability. I mean, there's not really much else for him to go for at this point. And after looking at our options, it really comes down to either Smashing Charge or Critical Strike. Ultimately, we'll end up with both, but I think between the two, we should probably lead with Critical Strike. Being able to conjure up a crit on demand is pretty invaluable, especially for someone like him. And then we've got Ivan. And again, pretty much a no-brainer. We're going for Magnificent Takedown, especially since it also comes with that lovely bow accuracy chaser. Aside from the +1 to hit, that'll also add an inspired component to his already fantastic area heals. And that's it. Level up's complete. Let's track down Marcus. Figure out our next move. Blacksmith's still closed. That's slightly disappointing. Maybe once we've dealt with the father.
Ah, the fated one returns. What will they ask of old Malachi, I wonder?
Malachi, you old dog. It's great to see you. That actually saves me the trouble of having to walk back to camp.
Please, please, feast your eyes on my selection of wondrous items.
More than happy to, my man. I would like to purchase these magic boots. Oh, actually, we might have enough. Yes, we do. We have enough for the Tyrant. So we will actually lead with that. That'll be a nice all-around boost for Freya. Though, sadly, it does not leave us with enough left for the Farstriders. We'll have to come back for those later. And then, honestly, the rest of this stuff we might just skip. At this point, we've already got that Ring of Healing on Drina, so I'm not sure I'd want to swap that out. Marcus is standing by the inn's fireplace, warming his frozen fingers when he sees you. His face lights up. "Hail, Farron, the savior of Haran!" His voice breaks halfway through the greeting, and a coughing fit overcomes him. "I'm sorry. I think I've caught a cold. Though considering what we've been through, I think I should count myself lucky. Come, join me by the fire while we talk." Okay, well, hold on now. I mean, that's some pretty obvious foreshadowing. "Thanks to your bravery, we've retaken most of Haran, and we now have access to supplies and shelter. The refugees have been streaming back in from the camp. They're desperate to learn the fate of loved ones or property that was left behind. Understandably so." He lets out a sigh and leans in. "However, were it not for the fact that I would have a mutiny on my hands, I would have kept them in the camp for now. Things are much more dangerous here in Haran than they realize. As far as my men report, the Reavers in the inner city seem to have been slain or driven off. However, the one they call Father still occupies the keep in the southwest corner of the harbor. He's barricaded himself inside with the remainder of his pack, and that's not the worst of it. Reports are coming in that dozens of townsfolk were taken alive by the Reavers and taken to the keep. I dread even contemplating what they are going through, if they are still alive. We must purge Haran of this remaining infestation, and if the Holy Tombs will it, rescue the captives. A frontal assault is out of the question. The keep is well defended when held by a determined enemy, and I have not the manpower to attempt it. There is hope, however. Hierophant Drawl shared an ancient legend with me. When the current temple was constructed, a secret tunnel between it and the keep was reportedly built. It served the purpose of allowing the governor in the keep to escape through the temple in case of a siege, or, alternatively, it made it possible for the clergy to seek shelter inside the keep if need be. Ironically, the tunnel was constructed centuries ago, and since Haran has seen very little warfare, it's never been used. In other words, its very existence is less than insured. Marcus offers a sheepish smile. Nonetheless, at this time, the secret tunnel is our best bet. Hierophant Drawl is waiting for you outside the temple. Meet him there and he'll fill you in. Also, between the refugees returning were Masia and our blacksmith. Both have opened their stores for you if you need to resupply. And lastly, Farron, please be careful. I fear dangers ahead far exceed those behind you. May the Golden Dead lend you strength. Yeah, thanks. Take care of yourself, Marcus. Pretty sure you're going to die, but, maybe try not to. We'll hold off on chatting up Drawl just yet. Sounds like we've got some vendors in the mix. Oh, wow, okay, well. Straight into his inventory, no dialogue. Slightly disappointing. I would have liked a better follow-up, even if it was just a brief chat with him. And yeah, it does seem like the upper area is still inaccessible, so I guess we do have to finish things up with the father before we'll get whatever our next lead might be. At least where Embla is concerned. Cora offers you a slight smile. Her cheeks have regained a modicum of color. It seems getting some food in her belly seems to have done her a world of good. Nice. Do we have anything else? No, apparently not. Okay, well, I've got to say, I was really hoping for more follow-through. We do have NPCs around. Oh, can we get into this building over here now? No. Okay. But, you know, as long as we're over here, I suppose we can always swing through Oleg's, grab whatever he might have had in his back room. Spellbooks, okay. I see a tier 3 air spell there, as well as 2 copies of Breathe Glass. We'll definitely get some use out of this one, since we're about to hit tier 3 with Freya. And no obvious means of getting up on that wall. Let's pop down south. We'll go hit up Red Kala's tower. Okay, let's see what we got. Eggs and gold. Plus lighthouse oil. A truly illuminating find. And this should hopefully be our ledger. Oh, no. Masterwork Armored Gauntlets of Awareness. Well, shoot, those would be good for Farron, but we already have those Noble Gloves of Diplomacy, and I'd really rather have the Diplomacy bonus. Even though the gloves are technically weaker than the gauntlets. I suppose we could just use the gauntlets as gauntlets, toss them to one of our other warriors. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Here you go, Ivan, just in case you ever get pinned down in combat. But no sign of our ledger. Oh, wait, okay. Yes, here we go. Halt! As you enter the chamber, a pale young man in ill-fitting armor belonging to the Harran City Guard staggers backwards. He holds his weapon before him in trembling hands. Don't come any closer! I know how to use this! Do you now, boy? Roland grumbles as he stalks into the room next to you. Alright, let's take it easy, both of you. We're not here to hurt you. We didn't even realize there was anyone left alive in here. You're not? Then what are you doing here? We're actually here to help. How's that? What are you doing here? Well, I don't know. That depends on what you're doing here. The boy's weapon lowers slightly. I'm guarding the Eastern Harbor Tower, so don't you get any ideas. This is Imperial property. Sure, yeah, that does seem like a good use of your time. You know, you don't have to hide in this tower. I have basically retaken the entire city. As if to confirm your words, the shouts of the boy's comrades echo from the plaza. A wave of relief washes over his face. Golden bless me. He pushes past you and flees into the city without looking behind. And thank goodness for that. Yeah, so even if we had forced our way past Red Kala, we would have had to deal with this guy. Paying a potential bloody price to get our hands on this ledger. Also snagged a low-end flame spell. Nothing to write home about, but we might push up the flame track, I suppose. Let's go collect our wayward captain. And given that things here in Harran do seem like they're swiftly coming to a close, perhaps we'll help ourselves to a certain set of armor while we're down there. You return. Yep. And about that task you gave me. What about it? Consider it done. I've got your ledger right here. We good? You hand the ledger to the queen, who in turn hands it off to one of her lackeys without even looking. The man flips through it and offers the queen a short nod. She waves her hand in an uninterested gesture, and a burly pair of gentlemen slink off into the shadows. One of them is carrying a large ring of keys. The pair return with Iago dangling comically between them, and forcefully deposit him on the stone floor at the queen's feet. He slowly and painfully stumbles to his feet while rubbing his sore wrists. The blind maiden has delivered. My dear queen, I am ever your... Silence! The queen's retort cuts like a rapier. Not another word out of your mouth, lest I geld you. Farron, I thank you for your service, but it is time for you to be on your way. Seeing this scoundrel before me makes my men and me salivate for roasted peacock, and I assure you, that would not be a pretty sight. Farewell. Okie dokie then. Well, we will be on our way. Oh, right, yes, okay, of course. I was told there was a temporary companion. I guess that's him. The men standing around roar in laughter and jeers. Someone throws an overripe fruit. Iago bows deeply and backs away. As he does so, he whispers to you. I think it is best we make ourselves scarce. The natives seem to be getting restless. Yeah, let's get you back to your ship. Anything else we can do with you? Nope, doesn't seem so. I will say, the lack of reactivity or follow-through is kind of jarring. But then again, I suppose this is also a low-budget indie. I can't really be too critical. I mean, for what it is, it's still very solid. And since we're on our way out, let's burn that bridge. We'll take that. You carefully remove the beautiful set of armor from the stand, then stash it in your backpack. And a quick peek with Farron, just in case. Nope, looks good. Let's be on our way. Let me just get to a safe distance here, then we'll have a peek at what we just pilfered. The Rat Queen's Armor of Strength. Ooh, wow, look at that. Essentially, magic masterwork full plate, which, as the name implies, grants +1 strength. It is very tempting to toss that right on Farron, but honestly, with that encumbrance value and that +1 strength, I think the character who can get the most use out of this is actually Roland. That'll forestall his need to max out his heavy armor tree. Since he already has the 1 point, that's enough to offset the single point of encumbrance. And then that'll also allow for a bit of a trickle-down effect, since that frees up his fine breastplate, which we can now hand off to someone else. And then as far as his future level ups go, I guess we can just focus on capstone skills. Okay, Ivan it is. Which I guess earmarks the basic leather as yet more sales fodder. Fair enough. Alright, so what do we have left to do, aside from talking with Drawl? The oil, obviously, so we will have to trek back across the island for that. And then I suppose we have to drop off Iago too, though it's not expressly telling us to do that. Although I have generally tried to avoid spoilers, I have been told which character classes were covered by companions. And at this point, the only two we have not encountered are Embla, who's a Magos, and then a temporary officer, which must be Iago. So we might pop back out and get those tasks taken care of before we push things any further with the father. Man, that is going to drive me crazy. There must be a way up there. And we have yet more level ups in the queue. Oh, plus we theoretically still have Masia and the blacksmith floating around somewhere. We didn't encounter them. Marcus specifically said they had new goods for us. So, you know what? This feels like a good place to call it. We'll hit the pause button for now. I'll figure out what we're doing with these level ups. I'll track down those merchants, check out their inventories. I have to imagine, much like Franco, they're just walking inventory screens. And I'll give Haran one last pass off screen. But yes, we'll hit the pause button for now. I'll take care of all those things. And we will pick up here next time. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie B23, Revenant, Alois, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.